Hello everyone, my name is Ben Telling, and welcome to tonight's news on Publicly Told. Today we have a special broadcast covering over the Watergate scandal. Some of the men had connections to the CIA, FBI, and the committee to re-elect the president, referring to Richard Nixon. Interestingly, days after this was brought to light, top staffers of the Nixon administration, H.R. Haldeman, John Ehrlichman, and John Dean, were either forced to resign or fired by the president himself. This came about the same time the White House denied any connection to the case. However, when the bombshell news was given to the judge, the United States Senate decided to set up a committee to investigate the Watergate matter. In addition to the U.S. Senate, the Attorney General of the United States assigned an independent prosecutor for the Watergate affair. With these investigations, startling information came to surface. Former counsel John Dean admitted to discussing with President Nixon and creating a cover-up on Watergate to hide the bigger truth. Also, Alexander Butterfield admitted to a secret taping system under Nixon's White House. To satisfy the reasonable questions surrounding Watergate, President Nixon released summarized transcripts of the tapes pertaining to Watergate. However, this did not satisfy the investigation. In mid-July 1974, per orders of the Supreme Court, President Nixon was forced to release the full transcript of the 64 tapes pertaining to Watergate. Days after this order, the House of Representatives filed 3 articles of impeachment for the president. If President Nixon is impeached, he will be the second U.S. president in history to be so. That is all for now. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Mr. Vice President, is this room secure for us to have a conversation?
Yes, Al. What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
Well, Mr. Vice President, things for President Nixon are unfortunately only growing worse. I just read the transcripts of one of the 64 tapes that have been ordered to be released, and, well, they are
Harmful?
more like incredibly damaging for Nixon. One of the tapes shows Nixon explicitly ordering the CIA to stop the FBI from further investigating Watergate for clear political purposes. This shows his involvement in a cover-up. This is going to be really hard for the president to get acquitted or to overcome an impeachment.
It's difficult to hear that, Al. Is there anything I can do to help?
Well, a Washington lawyer has luckily given us a series of options to help Nixon during this intense time, and I wanted to share them with you.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Before I listen, I must ask you a question. Are you, Mr. Vice President, ready at any moment in time, really, to assume the role of being President of the United States?
Yes.
Good. Good, because one of the options deals with you, unfortunately, taking that position. You see, something you must really consider, one of the options, is the presidential pardon option. The presidential pardon, as you know, clears any criminal offense from any person, any individual. And the presidential pardon option entails that you guarantee Nixon a pardon in exchange for Nixon resigning from his office.
Wait, if I understand this correctly. Nixon resigns, and
You pardon him.
in return for the presidency.
Nixon resigns, and you pardon him.
I don't know, Al. I'll need some time to think about this over. I can't commit to this. I have to talk with my
So
wife
just
first.
to be clear, these are just ideas. They're not, set in stone things. They're just
Thank
ideas.
you, Al. I'll get back to you on what you said.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
So, what do you think?
Don't get involved in that. A pardon for the presidency and...
I agree. It doesn't feel right.
Oh, please, more than just feel. It's not right. You are no need to get so close to Watergate.
I know. But Haig is just trying to help out Nixon. I kind of pity him.
Well, Jerry, I don't pity Haig. Al knows better than to serve you those outrageous ideas.
Well, what about the other news?
What news?
The presidency, remember? The presidency.
I love the way of life we have here in Virginia. And with or without that idea, it is becoming a serious reality. And, well, you'll be the next president in some way. And then, no matter where you go or do, remember I'm with you all the way.
Okay. I'm gonna go call Al and tell him no to the idea.
Let's pray everything goes well.
Yeah.
Jerry, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I wanted to let you know I made the call. I'm going to resign. You will be the next president by this time tomorrow.
Right. How do I look?
More handsome than JFK, sir.
All right, wish me luck. Let's start this press conference. We'll take questions first. Miss Smith from New York. Yes. Well, okay. Well, we're gonna.
Nothing's changed. Sir, sorry, what'd you say? Phil, I said nothing's changed. The whole darn conference is about what I think, what I'll do about Nixon. We got one step in the past and one step in the future. I can't continue to lead the nation this way. Mr. President, you must remember that Watergate is still fresh. It's only been weeks since the only president in history resigned. What do you expect? The darn media forgets and plays nice? No, of course not. I just wanted, I just thought the nation would move on by now. I can't talk about Nixon and talk about what I need to do. It's so distracting. It's distracting not only for me, but it's distracting for the nation. The nation's issues are indeed my issues, but Nixon's aren't mine. If this goes on, the nation will continue to unravel. Sir, I agree wholeheartedly. Something has to be done to get the country to move on in some way, but this is a legitimate concern people have. Nixon just left office. People want to know what and how he's doing, and more importantly, what you're going to do. Well, sir, what do you think about doing? Don't tell me it's pardoning the guy. Well, no, absolutely. The guy does not deserve a pardon. Sir, even if you wanted to pardon him, he's a special case. You see, there's no precedent for you to do this kind of pardon. Pardoning someone before a conviction, it's unheard of. The man deserves to go through a Senate trial. Sir, please think of the long effects this action may take, the precedent it might bring. Mr. President, think of your approval rating. People are just warming up to you. You do this pardon right now, you risk damaging that along with damaging the midterms and damaging your own 1976 election. It's a horrible idea. The people want the guy to go to trial, okay? And it may look like a deal was done, and there was no deal. There was no deal. I don't know how many times I have to say that. There was no deal, okay? It was just an idea, and what I want to do, the pardon, has nothing to do with the idea that Haig suggested. I want nothing to do with that. What I'm thinking about is just pardoning him. As President of the United States, I have to think what's best for the people and the future of this nation. Yes, there's no precedent for doing this, but I know and believe deep down that this pardon will help bring necessary healing to the nation. Who's to say this frenzy over Nixon will ever die down? How can we know that this will not further engulf the nation into disarray? The only way to get this over with is the pardon. A pardon will end this whole mess of Nixon, which in turn will help people forget about it. By removing Nixon's problems, we as a nation can move forward. The sooner the better. I've always followed my conscience. My conscience tells me that this is right. I know people will hate me for it, but I'm willing to pay the price, even if it costs me my re-election. Even that.
Mr. President.
Hey, do I look more handsome than JFK now?
Sir, I know you
you have a speech to deliver, and I was just told what it would be about the other day, and here's my resignation letter.
This is one heck of a time to quit. Phil found the legal
I
backing.
cannot support you pardoning. I quit.
Bob, please talk to Jerry for me. Get him to rethink his resignation.
Mr. President, are you sure you want to go ahead with this?
I'm ready.
Yeah, but is this the right thing?
All right, everyone, let's get ready to shoot.
Good morning. I've taken the time to talk to you this fine Sunday about something that has been on my mind for a while now. I know our nation has been going through a lot lately. Seems as though none of us can catch a break. However, it's during these times that God always does something interesting. He stays the course, and that's the kind of God I serve and ultimately answer to my decisions. After some time in prayer and in counsel, I've come to the conclusion that I will indeed pardon former President Richard Nixon for all the crimes he might have committed when he first took office up until his resignation.